Welcome back to the show. Once again, we're here, deep summer. Let's get on with it. We're going to talk about Andy again. This is an Andy show if you haven't figured out. So I want to talk about the quote, in the future, everybody will be world famous for 15 minutes. I feel everybody uses it today to be like, oh, where's my 15 minutes or whatever. And I believe that we need to rethink that quote. And yeah, to me, more and more as I get older, I'm becoming aware that this quote is a warning, right? And we've seen it recently with like that girl, like Haktua, whatever. That lady who was like, oh yeah, like spit on it or something like that. And now she was elevated to a celebrity and then destroyed in literally 15 minutes. Yeah, I feel it's the same what's happening in the art world too, that every season they want us to have a new like flavor of the month or a new person or a new genius like every season, and then they pump them up and then destroy them, and that's it. That's how the system works. But it's so sad. And yeah, nobody's great anymore. We just have this small celebrities, small artists pumped up and then destroyed. And I feel, yeah, let's also go back to what Fran Lebowitz said about like the media and genius.
The media requires there be a new genius every season. You would be very lucky if in your whole life you saw the work of one genius. But very few people are great, young, great all along. But Picasso was.
Some people are great all along, and I feel, or I believe now, they tell you they're great, and then the next season they're awful, kind of. Like, I don't know what's going on, but that's what I believe. And to me, the reason they do that is because they call everybody a genius. No, like, oh, again, the pizza maker is a genius, and the actor is a genius, and someone who doesn't do anything also is a genius, and every artist is a genius. But I believe, just like Fran, like it's so rare to encounter a genius. And you would say like, oh, what, is it subjective, objective, like what? I don't know. But what I do know is to have a genius, speaking from painters that I believe some of them are genius, like Basquiat or Warhol or Frida Kahlo or Picasso, like a lot of more. But just to speak about those, Leonardo, like everybody spoke more than one language. And I believe that's very true. Like when they tell you, oh, so and so is a genius, if they don't speak multiple languages, I'm sorry, you're not a genius. That's how, I mean, everybody from Isaac Newton spoke several languages. Like, I feel Einstein, you know, like everybody that's a genius or is thought to be a genius for real, they all have multiple languages, at least, among other things. And I believe in the art world, everybody's called a genius, even people that speak one language. So it's like, how and why? Why do we do that? Like, why is it so hard to abstain from calling people geniuses when we should be treating as like something really special? Like, I don't understand. Like, another quote that I want to talk about is Andy Warhol saying, I never wanted to be a painter, I wanted to be a tap dancer. And I believe, again, it's another warning that they don't want us to be painters anymore. They want us to be tap dancers. They want us to show it to my friends, or show it to my rich friends, show it to my collectors, show it whatever. Is all tap dance that they want us to do. And I believe that has turned out like the thing with the genius and the tap dancing has given us this churn of mediocrity. from everything. Like, I feel there's a lot of good things, but also this idea that everything is great is getting a little old. It's like coming from the place of being like a theater kid, for example. Like, if you are in theater class, then as a like high school or whatever, they ask you to perform, and then everybody claps no matter what, like no matter if it's good or bad. I believe we're doing the same thing in the art world right now, that we just want to see like, show us, and then everybody's yay. So, but nobody's saying like, that's awful or that's great. Everybody's just flat yay, and it's so sad. Speaking of theater kids, yeah, it's so weird. If you went to high school in America, most of the theater kids, if not all of them, are gay, right? And I'm pro gay. But most of them are gay. And when they turn to Hollywood, they become manly men. Like, now, when you think about those theater kids, which are all the actors, they act manly, kind of like Tom Cruise in a way. It's like, it's so weird how that happens. And I feel, yeah, it's so weird. Like, how come that happens, that to go into Hollywood, you need to drop the theater kid persona and become a manly man? Like, I just learned this term, the beard or whatever, that some actors in Hollywood have, that is like a wife, but they have a secretly gay life. And I thought it was a funny term. Not that it was so funny, that nobody talks about that in the art world. Like, speaking of like beards, Lindsey Graham's dead, the weird politician from South Carolina that everybody loved to make fun of. And I believe, yeah, everybody's cracking jokes about the guy who may or may not have been gay again. And I believe, why is it nobody talking about the art world people equivalent to Lindsey Graham? Like Gagosian or Deitch, all these people that are like unmarried and old as fuck, and nobody wants to like even crack jokes about why are they so, like, they may or may not be gay and they are old and unmarried dudes, and nobody talks about that. Like, how come a politician that is more powerful gets talked more than this guy's? Like, I don't understand. And why we keep like, and by we, I mean, like, no publication ever talks bad about it. And I feel all the publications talk bad about the politician. So I don't understand. That just talks about how all the art publications are trash, because nobody's even having fun. Nobody's doing anything. I don't understand. I started this show to put emphasis on the fact that nobody is willing to speak openly in the art world. Nobody's willing to say what we're all thinking. Nobody's saying like what really matters. And yeah, I don't really enjoy doing this much, but I believe it's necessary that we need to just talk and to say whatever we feel, even if it is, yeah, the Gagosian, that guy is weird. And when we read about him and we know the allegations, and even the publications have posted something along the lines of like, when we ask him about the allegations, he says that it's bullshit. It's like, does anybody who's ever been innocent answers like that? If you say something, hey, did you do this? And like, it's bullshit. If you're cursing, you're already showing that you're guilty. So like, I feel we just see all these things and nobody says anything, because I don't know what they're afraid of. This is America. Like, this is literally the place to do all these things. Like, this isn't the UK when we're saying things can get you in trouble. Like, this is literally freedom of speech. I can say anything I want. That's the thing. And that's okay. And I believe nobody's using our freedom for what? Like, I don't understand why nobody will say anything. Like, we need to make fun more of these guys that are ridiculous. They're clowns. They're literally, he's 80 years old and dating 20-year-olds. Like, nobody says even a joke about it. When, like, people, if you're straight, you know this guy. His name is Bill Belichick, and he's the ex coach for the New England Patriots, and he's been made fun of a lot by everybody because he's marrying a 26-year-old or something like that. And again, he's 70, right? So 70 dating 20 and gets ripped to pieces by the media. And then we have this 80-year-old dating 20-year-olds and nobody's saying anything. That's so weird. Like, and yeah, if I didn't have daughters, like, I would say, like, oh, an 80-year-old and a 20-year-old, that's so fun. Like, cool, you did it, dude. But like, now, after having daughters, like, you both are sick. You both need to go to therapy. Like, what's going on? 80 and 20 is weird. And yeah, we just have to say it. Like, even Louis C.K., who is like guy who was canceled for being inappropriate, in his new special said something along the lines of like, yeah, I'm like 60 or whatever, and it's hard for me to even think about dating young people because I don't want it to be weird. And he's like, if the difference between you and your partner is more than a woman's age who can have kids, like if it's more than 40, like, you're in trouble. So even the guy who's been canceled for being inappropriate is saying that it's weird to have that situation, you know, like, and I feel like, yeah, nobody wants to talk about it. Let's have a break for our sponsor, Essentia. pH 9.5 or higher. Damn, that's a basic water. So yeah, we should be more willing to say whatever we want. And yeah, I hear a lot of people talking online like, is contemporary art over? Like, are you kidding me? Anybody who's asking that is because they're not artists. Again, contemporary art is never going to be over. Maybe your art world is over. Like, contemporary art would always be alive because people, until we're like extinct, we're gonna keep making art. So like, there's always gonna be art being made, and that's literally what contemporary art is. Just the art that's being done in the present. So what maybe people are saying is like, again, what's going on in the art world of right now, or the old boomer art world, that is fucked, right? A lot of things, but whose fault is that? Who's driving? Again, these old guys, grandpas at the wheel, and they might be gay and they're asleep. Like, that's literally what's happening. And I don't understand why we keep like asking like, oh, what happened or whatever. We know what happened. The people driving crashed the car. The people driving fell asleep at the wheel. The people driving should be in a retirement home. Like, we literally created these retirement homes for them. We gave them Florida and they're still here. Like, when are we gonna have these people go to a retirement home? Like, I'm not joking. We need for these people to go to a retirement home so we can do our own world. And even if we have to wait 20 years, we'll wait. So yeah, we have too many people, too many old people controlling the situation. And yeah, speaking of old people, happy 99th birthday to Alex Katz. And like I said before, I am pro artists painting until they die, whenever that may be. However, I would like to talk about the fact that in some situations with painters, kind of like Alex Katz, there's the issue of elder abuse. Like, how do we know that this guy Alex Katz is not completely gone and he just has people pushing him around to make money for them, aka Gavin Brown? Like, this guy, I believe, like, in today's society, it's okay to push older people like that and then hijack them so they can make you money. I mean, see what we did with Biden, right? We put that guy who wasn't really there. We knew before he even ran the first time that he wasn't there. Then we literally put him there, and I mean, we saw everything, and a lot of people made a shitload of money, and that was literally elder abuse. I believe that's something that we need to talk about, and we need to protect Alex Katz. And I believe right now I wouldn't buy an Alex Katz because he's not really there. Again, you can say that, oh, he's sharp as a whatever. Like, no, he's not. He's had many, many, many strokes. He's had many, many health issues. Like, that's how the body works. And I believe, and I'm tired of, like, yeah, again, lionizing that situation when I believe it's a warning for the future. Like, I don't want to be 99 and be, like, predated by guys wanting to make money of me. And that's happening right now. And I believe that's also what happened, or people talked about this in the 20th century with Picasso. When he was like 90, and Jacqueline, his wife then, was like, according to Picasso's family and his kids, were like, that lady's pushing him to work all day, all night for her benefit, right? And maybe true, maybe not, whatever, but I believe just like we need to talk about that. And like, see, even Picasso is considered a creepy guy and whatever. He was 70 when he started dating Jacqueline, and Jacqueline was like 26 or 27. So like, again, Gagosian, the guy who's not even an artist, he believes he is, but he's not. He's dating 20-year-olds, and in his mind, he's like, oh, I'm Picasso. Like, no, you're creepy. And even Picasso was creepy. So like, even the guy that we thought was creepy, now it's a bigger creepy guy, and still nobody says anything. Like, how can you call yourself a feminist and show it this gallery? If now we know the Epstein connection, the creepiness of the guy, the allegations in the 80s, like, how can you be pro-women or even that women are equal if you follow this guy? Like, that's the hypocrisy of the art world. Everybody's showing in this online. You can see all the women that are showing with that gallery, they're not even paying attention, or they don't care, which is fine. But I just want to talk about the truth. That's the truth. If, again, the artists were taken care of, if everything was great, if we had business, if everybody was making work and being sold, nothing of this would be happening, this inquiry, you know? But it is happening because of the society. It is happening because the lack of importance for contemporary art. In 1968, Andy Warhol had a show at the Moderna Museet, that Swedish institution, and his show went from that place in Sweden to Amsterdam, Berlin, Bern, Oslo, and even East Germany at the Documenta Castle, right? He was 39 years old. He turned 40 later that year, but he was 39, and he had that show in Europe. Do we have one American contemporary artist that is 39 traveling around Europe? No. Why? I don't know. I know many, many artists that deserve that show who are 39 around then. And again, I believe it's the failure of the art dealers to make better opportunities for Americans. That show for Andy was conceived by this guy, Caspar Koenig, the German guy, and he convinced Pontus Hultén, the curator of the museum, to have this show, and it was a success. So I'm asking, if you're a curator in Europe, convince your curators in your institutions to have American shows, even without the American dealers, because they have shown inept. And we have to do our own connections now. And I feel that's what's happening. So yeah, is contemporary art done? No. Is contemporary art over? No. We're just under bad management. That's the truth. And I believe it's going to change. And I believe something that we need to remember as contemporary artists is that the audience comes later. And by later, I don't mean like within your lifetime even. Look at this.
Does anybody buy your paintings?
No.
So you're poor.
Yes, rather poor.
How do you live?
My brother Teo pays for me to be here, but he's not a rich man either.
So you believe that God gave you this gift because he wants to keep you in misery?
I never thought about it that way.
And which way do you think?
Sometimes I think,
Yes.
well, maybe,
Go on.
maybe he chose the wrong time.
What do you mean the wrong time?
Maybe God made me a painter for people who aren't born yet.
That's a clip from friend of the show's movie, Julian Schnabel. He had the Van Gogh movie, and Van Gogh explains that he believes that he's painting for the future, right? And I believe that to be very true, and to remind you as an artist, because this is for artists only, if you are painting, right, and if you show your painting to someone, if it's bad, they're gonna say that it's bad and they're gonna hate it. And if it's good, they're gonna hate it because they didn't do it. So both ways you lose as an artist, right? And it is irrelevant what living people think of your art. You should only be painting for yourself and for the future generations that you want to inspire as an artist. And I believe that's what being an artist is. It takes around 300 years to be appreciated as an artist. And we can see that with Duchamp even. Like Duchamp has an interview that he was saying, maybe I'll put it on. He was saying like, oh, my audience hasn't been born yet. And he's right. Now you see all this like people on Instagram talking about the urinal and whatever, which is boring. But like, yeah, right now, like people are born in the 2000s, like think of like, oh, Duchamp is the shit. And like, yeah, he is. But like he was aware of that. And I feel right now we need to think of the same. Like our audience hasn't been born yet. If you're an artist, your audience hasn't been born yet. And this is very important to know. And to remember what's popular now will be unpopular in the future. That's how it happens. For example, Van Gogh. Like people in Van Gogh's era, if the 1800s, late 1800s, they didn't get to see Van Gogh. Like maybe a handful of people saw Van Gogh. But now everybody's seen Van Gogh, you know? So let's have some water. Another example of this is Vermeer, right? Vermeer became Vermeer 300 years after he painted those things. Like he painted those paintings in secrecy almost, and his art dealer was his mother-in-law. So just think about that. Imagine an artist right now that is making paintings that his mother-in-law is his dealer, and then he's going to be famous in 300 years, or she. That's what's happening right now. And I believe that goes all the way even to ideas. You know, like Galileo, for example, in like the 1600s, late 1500s, he had the idea that we as the earth are going around the sun, right? Back then, he was ridiculed, punished, like almost spat upon. I'm sure worse than that. And it took 300 years to even people to be like, oh no, he was right. Like everything is like that in this world. Like if it makes sense and if people think it's popular, it's bad. When people think like that's impossible, what are you talking about? That's usually what's real and what's going to be true in 300 years. Think about Jesus. How long it took for the Bible to even catch on. Like if you know the history, you know it took a long time. And look at it now. Like now everybody knows the Bible. Even Leonardo, for example, he made his paintings in like the late 1400s. Then his paintings were unknown. Then a handful of people saw them. Then he moved to France, where he was the tutor of the young king, Louis the whatever, and his paintings remained there. And in the 1800s, they became popular in the 1800s, and now look at them now. So like, again, that's the history of art, and we forget that that's how it works. But yeah, people are dumb. People are really smart and really dumb in different ways. But with regards to new ideas, we're really dumb. And I believe one of the dumbest things going around amongst smart people is the myth of overpopulation. Like, people keep talking about that, especially in the arts, as if we are overpopulated, right? It takes one Google to be that we're in a collapse in infertility around the world. That's the thing. And nobody even knows that. That's the weird thing. Like, I believe that people that talk about overpopulation should be looked as dumb as the flat earthers, as the people who don't believe Galileo. But that's what happens. Like right now, a lot of people won't even get it that we're not overpopulation. We are in decline as a species. And nobody knows that. It seems to me like that. But yeah, the same people that are as dumb to believe that overpopulation is a thing are the ones that shouldn't know your name right now as an artist. Like if they know your name, you're in trouble, because then you're gonna be forgotten. The same dumb people that believe that we're overpopulation or overpopulated are the ones that are like so scared about the machines replacing us and all that like dumb stuff. Like, first of all, again, that's so dumb that a machine would replace you, because we've always had machines throughout history, just different machines. And from a Picasso quote, he has this quote that said like, computers are useless, they can only give you answers. And now with AI, maybe it already went and it started asking questions, yet I don't know for sure. But to me, I'm going to go further than Picasso and say that computers are useless because they're not horny. Like, art comes from being horny as a man or a woman, and by horny I mean hormones. Like, hormones is what makes you paint, right? If you have a robot making the art, even though it can be cool as a gimmick, like, it's not art, because art is made from horniness. If you are an artist, you know what I'm talking about. Our advantage towards machines is our biology. That these dumb people that don't know about overpopulation, and they believe in overpopulation, they don't know biology. That's why. Because if you knew biology, you would understand that we're in decline and why we're in decline. So like, just think about that. These same dumb people are the ones that are concerned with the data centers, right? And if you ask them, it's like, oh, why are you concerned with the data centers? Oh, they're gonna poison the earth, right? They're gonna hurt people. Well, those two things are what the Guggenheim Museum has done. How come you're so worried about the data centers and these things that they've done when the Guggenheim Museum and the parent company of the Guggenheim Museum, which is called Sarko, has done the exact same thing? The exact same thing since the 1800s. Since the 1800s, this company called Asarco, that is the Guggenheim Museum, is the same thing. They have poisoned a lot of parts of America and Mexico, and they have hurt a lot of people throughout those smelting sites, they're called. But nobody cares. People are still going to the museum. Artists are still wanting to be like having shows there. And then everybody keeps attacking these data centers. I believe the Guggenheim Museum is evil, and I believe this is what happens. It's an article that said that when you have your show at the Guggenheim is your peak for your career. That's why. Because it's a poisoned place. This is also what happened there. There was an outbreak of Legionella at the Guggenheim Museum. I believe things like this will happen over and over again there until we talk to them about this, until they make something and they talk to us about it. I believe it's unfair to be camouflaged as an art institution when you're a poisoning corporation that has destroyed nature, and it would take hundreds, if not thousands of years, like I explained before, to remedy this. I believe the problem right now is that nobody reads anymore. Nobody reads even the articles. They just jump on whatever. Wait, like sheep. Like fucking sheep. We're all... What's today's thing that we have to all support or be against? Like, that's the dumbest thing that I've seen in my life. I don't know if it's always been like this, but it's so sad. Like right now, AI is our best option with regards to being an egalitarian society. For the first time in humanity, in the history of humanity, you have access to the best lawyer in the world, the best doctor in the world, the best coder in the world for free. And you're talking about the data centers. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bad things that are going to happen with the data centers. It's not perfect, but just think about it, like, in what you really consider a thing. For all the artists out there, the Guggenheim is more evil than any of the corporations that are making the data centers. But nobody wants to talk about that. Why? So yeah, I have beef with the Guggenheim Museum forever for poisoning our land. And I have beef with Gagosian. I'm gonna be honest, because one time, I was at the Madison Avenue building that used to be the Leo Castelli Gallery, and then he took over. And I was waiting, and I put on the elevator sign, and I wasn't paying attention, and he got in behind me and got in and saw me coming, and then he pressed to close it. That's never happened in my whole life. In my 40 years of life, nobody has ever closed the door on me in the elevator, only this guy. So since then, I was like, this is an evil person. I don't give a fuck. And then the more that I look, the more that I find. But nobody reads. If you read about this guy, you're going to find out everything. But nobody wants to read, which I believe is our problem. The saddest thing is that the more you look, is that when you realize that there's a chess game happening with regards to the art world, and the gallerists are the pawns. They believe we're the pawns, but you are the pawns. The truth is that social media, what social media was in 2015, is AI today. Like, many people are not using it, some people don't like it, whatever, they are upset. But now everything's social media. In 2030, everything will be AI. And I feel as an artist, you need to get on this digital wave now. We need to stop talking about these data centers. You have to do work. That's your job. Because if you want to be an ethical person, then look around at the institutions that you deem respectable, and you're going to find worse things than the things that you're upset about. So please avoid talking shit about the data centers and get to work. Another big problem that's happening right now in the art world is this shitty publications, ArtNet, or as I call it, CollectorNet, Art Forum, Art News, Art whatever. They have become the TMZ of the art world. Again, not one article about Gagosian and his creepiness, and Leon Black and his creepiness, and Epstein and creepiness. Like, nothing real is being talked in these publications. And as an artist, you have to remember all these publications, ArtNet, whatever, they don't tell you what's new, right? They only tell you what they're allowed to tell you. By who, again? But there's always a guy who's deciding what you get. And these people are the most unserious people in the art world. They're glazing dealers and collectors, destroying artists, but it's over. Like, all these publications are just dumb and boring. Like if you're paying for these publications, you're dumb. Their only motivation is cash. I saw this article recently asking a collector about why did the gallery system collapse? It's their fault too. You understand? Collectors have everything to do with the fall, and there's always their fault. Galleries, everybody. So yeah, the galleries are fucked because of the collectors, because of the publications, and because of the shitty gallerists. That's the truth. Another big part of the boomer gallery system that I believe needs to disappear is the art advisor. If you hear the term art advisor, that's a huge red flag. First of all, that's a self-appointed term, so it means nothing, right? Second, there are financial advisors that need a permit, right? When people tell you what to do with your money, they need a permit. But these people have called themselves art advisors to camouflage that, and they tell you what to do with their money with no permit. I believe they should go to jail if they're telling people to buy art and then it goes down in value. You should go to jail. And you need a permit to be telling people what to buy. Don't act like you're a bona fide interior designer when you're literally selling stock. Even when you tell someone you should buy this stock, you should be liable for that. You shouldn't be telling financial advice, aka art advising, to anybody. If these guys disappeared, or girls, nothing would happen to the art world. Literally nothing. We would still be making art. People would be selling art. For the people that don't know, there are two kinds of art sales: secondary and primary. Primary are the ones that come directly from the artist studio. Secondary are the ones that are coming from another collector. So you bought it from the artist and then you buy it from that collector. That's a secondary art. If you are doing secondary art and you're under 50, you're dead. You need to be doing primary work if you're under 50, otherwise you're dead. You're a safe and scared person if you go to sell secondary art as your primary business. Selling Rothko, selling Elizabeth Payton, selling Giacometti, that, nobody needs that. Having art advisors have diminished the connoisseurship in collectors. When you have an art advisor, you're forcing these people to avoid doing their own research. And by these people, I mean the collectors. When the collectors do their own research and they do their own advising to themselves, that's when we got good collectors. And I also saw that recently in New York City, they have banned the broker fee, right? So if you find somebody apartment, you can't charge them a fee, right? I believe that should be the same thing for art advisors. If you say, hey, buy that painting, you shouldn't be paying anything. So yeah, there's no shows to look forward to, at least good ones. AI is the future, and we have no idea what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. Just remember this very important thing, that the art world is only people that make art. Just think about that. Same way that Hollywood is Hollywood, and Hollywood is people that make movies. If you're not making movies, you're not Hollywood. If you're not making art, you're not in the art world. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of prophecies that are going to be fulfilled. So keep listening. Remember what happened with the Kuhn's Evian situation. Let's have one more Essentia to pay our bills. Huh? Essentia, pH. .5 or higher. That's nice. Yes. The prophecy with the water was fulfilled. Our prophecies will be fulfilled. Another prophecy that's been fulfilled was artists working with corporations. Another artist, friend of the show, Orel Schmidt. She made a collaboration recently with Skims. That's exactly what we're talking about. In order to have a career, in order to have our dreams come true, we need to do these things. And I believe she used to show with that lady from the Hole, the galleries that's in the Hole right now. I think she used to show there, and look what she has to do now for relevance. You know, like, yeah, the galleries are cooked. And yeah, just remember that what's selling now at the galleries in the future will be relevant. And in 300 years, we're going to see what the art of now is. Same way that at the time of Vermeer, there were many, many famous painters, quote unquote, that were making art, and they were like, everybody was talking about them. But today, mostly we talk about Vermeer of that time. So keep painting. Let's get to this new era. And yeah, fuck what everybody says. Fuck what anybody says. Say whatever you want. And good luck.